Dia Mirza, actor, producer, is artist and also an ambassador of UNEP, Goodwill Ambassador and UN Secretary General's advocate for SDGs. Oh God, so many achievements, Dia. This list is going on and on. But Dia, I want to ask you, as an ambassador, you've been raising awareness on the SDG goals. First of all, for the less educated, can you tell us what SDG is? A recent report by the UN has said that every country has failed in meeting targets to protect biodiversity. Do you think now, with this virus, everyone has got the message?
Thank you, Sanket. The answer actually is tied into 3 different points. So I'll try and start with the first one. The Sustainable Development Goals are the SDGs. These are global goals that countries have come together and signed collectively. And this has obviously been a humanitarian response to the inequalities and the inequities that the world is confronted by. And these goals were established 5 years ago. And yes, we're far behind in achieving these goals. The COVID-19 pandemic has, in more ways than one, I think, helped us all understand that all human health and progress is completely and totally linked with environmental health. The third point is that 80% of the Sustainable Development Goals will be achievable only and if only we ensure climate action. I don't think anybody who has understood how important it is for us to achieve these goals will deny the fact that if we don't step up on climate action, and of course the COVID-19 pandemic is a result of the broken relationship between man and nature and the irresponsible patterns of consumption and production that have led to zoonotic viruses. And this disease is one of the many diseases that we have unfortunately have to deal with and will continue to have to deal with if we don't step up with action.
Zia, this is Amitabh.
Hello, sir.
Hello, lovely to have you here with us today.
As we do annually, but
thank you
I guess we should make do with technology.
Thank you for being with us. Zia, you know, you've been a strong advocate on not using single-use plastics. You've been engaging with children on the importance of protecting nature. How do we make this lifestyle choice for people? But before you answer that, let me tell you that, you know, in one of our issues, I think either it was last year or the year before when you came onto this program and you talked about single-use plastic. I have to tell you that I followed that religiously, stopped using these plastic straws, and everything now, wow. Everything now is you know, paper straws that are destructible and can be destroyed after one use. Thank you so much. So, yes. How do we change the lifestyle choice of people?
I think any change is possible through individual behavioral change. And I think this program, in all the various forms that we've conducted over the years, and of course, engagement with young people in the country, I'd like to refer to the Beat Plastic Pollution campaign that we established and the Tide Turners campaign in 2019 that has mobilized action with over 18,000 young people across the country and has generated a huge amount of public and civil awareness. You know, Mr. Bachchan, what is really unfortunate is that most environmental crises are in people's awareness within environment circles. So what we really need to do is to take that narrative out of the environment circles and make it a part of public discourse and a part of civil society awareness. That, of course, happens through education programs, but can also happen through strong communication. And I think much like yourself, the fact that you made the switch from single-use plastics to you know, more sustainable alternatives, like we made the traveling bottle, the hashtag traveling bottle, fashionable. And I have to say that it gives me a great sense of pride when I see so many young people, even within our fraternity, using these, you know, metal bottles or glass bottles instead of throwaway single-use plastic bottles. And, you know, even simple actions like this demonstrate a very strong public will and have mobilized a lot of awareness amongst civil society and communities. And I feel like young people have been at the forefront of this. I would also like to highlight how citizenship action, like the work that Afroz Shah has done in the tremendous beach cleanups and the work that we've done in highlighting it, has also made more and more people understand how irresponsibly we were using plastic, how we at an individual level can become more responsible about the way we consume plastic. But I think the third and the most critical aspect of this all, and we discussed this last year, Mr. Bachchan, we spoke about, social responsibility from companies, where they become more responsible about the packaging that they're introducing into society. Of course, individual change and behavioral change can make a big difference, but we really will not be able to see the seismic change that is required in managing waste until corporates, the industry that is producing the plastic, becomes responsible for it. So corporate responsibility is equally important, and waste management and how we use and manage our waste has to also become a part of our lifestyles.
No, I think,
Dr. Roy, I can see you're trying to ask me something.
No, because I'll just take you on from what you just said, and what you've already done has had a huge impact. And you're talking about seismic changes and major changes. One thing positive that has come out of COVID that we've seen, that we can have a clear sky, we can have good air to breathe if we really work at it. How do you feel, how do we ensure that we don't go back to the bad old times?
Well, Dr. Roy, every time we've had an economic crisis of this magnitude, where the world has kind of been put to a pause, environment, nature has got an opportunity to breathe a bit. So we have seen air and skies become clean again, wildlife coming back to places that they had completely abandoned. But this is short term, right? The only way we can achieve clean air and reduced environmental degradation and reduced pollution is if we implement very strong measures and policy change, which is transitory, and we are transitioning to clean energy, clean mobility, and cleaner policies. So we need to basically ensure that we switch to just more robust and stronger policies that protect biodiversity and environment, and ensure waste management systems are implemented and industries follow green norms. And I think it really starts with something as basic as every single individual acknowledging the fact that our lives, our livelihood, our peace, our progress, everything connected to nature.
Right. Thanks very, very much, Dia. That was great, and congratulations on all the work you do, and we are right behind you, supporting you. Remember that.